Hey, gonna try this in the car again. Seems to be the best place to do these. Actually, it's pretty quiet and I have a few minutes, so it's great. This video is going to be on replacement behaviors. I was actually meaning to talk about that in the meltdowns video, but I forgot actually, and there's probably more that I could say about it. So basically, a replacement behavior is a behavior that you teach them to do to replace what you don't want them to do. So if they are banging their head, I had mentioned that I had taught some kids to come and tell me that they needed a head hug, or to put their hand, if they're nonverbal, put their hand on their head so that I would know that they needed that. So we're replacing banging their head with the head squeeze, because they're getting some sort of sensory feedback by banging their head. So you want to do something that involves their head. Of course, you're not going to bang, but just the squeeze. They're banging their head on the wall. If you were to do that yourself and feel your head, the squeeze might give them that same feedback that they need. If they are pinching, you can maybe get the stress ball or a balloon filled with sand that they can pinch instead of pinching themselves. If they are hitting, maybe a punching bag. I remember getting a student a punching bag that you actually it was just a tabletop one that had a suction at the bottom of the stand so that you could suction it to the table, and they just, did their punching the bag there instead of hitting themselves or other people. Even those, I don't know if you can find them, but I think when we were younger there were those clowns that had a weight in the bottom and they were blown up and they just sat on the floor, and you can punch that. Even a helium balloon, hitting that instead. It also gives a noise, so that might help as well. If your child is harming themselves, whether that's scratching, like I said, you can find something to replace that, give them something else to scratch instead of their body. But if they're needing that feedback, when he or she is self-harming, we really have to work on them finding something else to do. So taking a paper bag, taking some paper and just crumpling it up in a ball, like a whole bunch of paper. If that's what they need to do at that time, they can, crumple that up. Instead of hurting themselves, crumple the piece of paper. Instead of scratching themselves, holding an ice cube. That gives a certain amount of somewhat pain because it's quite cold, but not in a way that's going to actually hurt them. The only thing with that one is you need to have ice cubes available in certain areas, right? That we don't always have them. But, if you're in the car, you can have a cooler bag with some if this happens on a regular basis. So basically, just look at the behavior or look at the symptom and see what it is that they are doing, and try to figure out what it is they're getting from that, and find something that is similar but in a non-harmful way.